Hi, in this lecture I'll show you how to read the state of a push button using your ESP32. In previous lectures you learned how to control the state of an LED and I'm going to use the LED in this lecture to display visually the state of the button. Having a quick look at the map of the ESP32, the pin map, just zoom out really quickly, there you go. You know that we can control an LED using any of the digital output pins. So we've got quite a large selection of those pins, those GPIOs. You can use the same pins as inputs and use them therefore to read the state of push buttons. And in an upcoming lecture, I'm also going to show you how to read the state of potentiometers. But in addition to those, just remember that we've got 4 pins up here. So these are pins 36 to 35, which can only be used as inputs in addition to some other capabilities that they have, such as the SVP and SVN. That's something I'm going to show you in a later section. So in this lecture, the schematic, the wiring schematic that I have assembled here in my breadboard is this. I've got a push button. One of the pins of the push button is connected to the 3.3 volt pin, which is pin number 1. Just sort of place it like that so you can see them in parallel. So here's the push button. I've got its side pin, let's call this pin number 2, connected to 3.3 volts, a 3.3 volt rail right here. And then the other pin is connected to pin number 3, as you see the board in this direction, which is this pin right here, which is digital pin 36 in the pin diagram, and that's how I've referred to this pin in the program, in the sketch. I also have used a 10 kilo ohm pull down resistor because pin number 1 is the one that I'm using to take the reading from the button to the ESP32, and then I'm pulling this pin down to the ground pin, which is this pin right here, ground rail, so that when the button is not pressed, it's just floating, the ESP32 can get a definite ground level reading here, so that, as I said, the reading is not floating. So don't forget this pull down resistor. And then for the LED, the situation is very simple. We've got a 330 ohm current limiting resistor. Via it, the LED is connected to pin GPIO, I should say, GPIO 32 in series with a resistor, and then the cathode of the LED goes to ground. Alright, so I've got the sketch running on my ESP32. I press the button, the LED goes on, let it go, depressed, the LED goes off. It's exactly the kind of wiring that you would do with the Arduino. And having a look at the sketch, so here's a sketch for this example, you see that pretty much everything here is as you would expect them to be in an Arduino sketch. There's really no difference. I've got the 2 pins, one for the LED, one for the button. I've got a variable to hold the current state of the button. Then in the setup method, I initialize the 2 pins, one as an output for the LED and one as an input. And in the loop, I'm constantly taking a reading using the digital read function for the button. And depending on what that state is, or the current value of the button state variable, I either turn the LED on or off. So it's pretty simple, as you can see, to take a reading from a button in this way. So let's move on to the next lecture now, where I'll show you how to read the state of a potentiometer using one of the analog inputs.